specialist in diabetes and obesity. You can see him here on the set of Global News Canada. Like Dr. Oz, who's known worldwide for his TV show on health. I'm also going to reveal a drink that we think is good for us, but that you should absolutely avoid because it can destroy your health. And there is probably some in your kitchen as we speak. So listen carefully, especially if you have diabetes, prediabetes, or if a relative of yours suffers from it. Right now, you might be frustrated with your diabetes. Maybe it even scares you a little, like a snake hidden in your body. It's silent. You don't see it, but you know that it can bite you at any moment. Maybe you even suffer from symptoms because of the treatments. Many diabetics have circulation problems or impaired vision, which constantly reminds them that their health is in danger. You may be afraid of suffering from neuropathy, losing your vision because of glaucoma, or having your toes or legs amputated. It's a very scary situation, especially since hundreds of thousands of people over the age of 45 have type 2 diabetes right now, and they don't even know it. It is to help you solve the problem that I have prepared this presentation, to reveal the discovery of this Scottish surgeon in 1797. It's natural, and it helps normalizing blood sugar in 4 to 8 weeks. This is without insulin, without injections, and without drugs. It means that you can be free of diabetes, and hundreds of scientists have proven it. Do you want to know the craziest part? Some patients do it in just 11 days. I will reveal the details in a moment, but before that, I have a little warning. My revelations will probably shock you, and that's normal, because you will understand that the management of diabetes today is completely insane, but it fills the pockets of big companies which take advantage of the situation. So stay tuned, because it's about your health. And it's urgent, because your diabetes can have complications at any time. So stay with me for a few minutes, because this video can completely change your life. Okay? Before we begin, I'm sure you're wondering who I am, so let me introduce myself quickly. I am John Herman, and I created the HealthyAndAlive.org project, an organization that informs people about the best ways to stay healthy. I studied for 5 years at the Faculty of Medicine in Rouen, Normandy, in France, but one day I gave it all up. Why? Because I understood that the pharmaceutical industry controls everything, and that disgusted me, because they're not trying to treat patients in the best possible way. They're trying to make maximum profits. So I turned to natural solutions. Every day I inform more than 143,000 people of my latest discoveries through my newsletter. I was given the name The Natural Health Detective, and I must admit that it suits me. I've also published several books and reports on health, and I am proud to say that more than 114,750 people worldwide have read the most popular one. By the way, you may have already heard about it on websites like Yahoo, Health, CNN.com, Medical News Today, or Mercola.com. And right now, I'm writing this letter from my office in Normandy, in a small village with more cows than there are inhabitants. But let's get back to our topic. And I would like to ask you a question. Don't you find it strange that diabetes is exploding like this all over the world? According to the International Diabetes Federation, there were 108 million diabetics in the world in 1980. In 2019, there were 463 million, and that's 4 times more in only 40 years. And according to the most optimistic experts, there will be almost 800 million in 2050. It is a real epidemic. But there's worse. In 2019, diabetes killed more than 4,200,000 people. That's 11,506 people a day. It's as if every day the city of Sedona in Arizona disappeared from the map because of diabetes. In the USA alone, 73,000 amputations are performed on diabetics every year. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm showing you the reality. We're at war with diabetes, and for now, we're losing. The question is, why? That's exactly what Dr. Fung was looking for. Remember, he's an expert who has written several best-selling health books, and he discovered that we could end the diabetes epidemic and allow patients to live healthy lives for the rest of their lives. We'll see how in a moment. Before we do, I have to tell you the truth about diabetes. The first thing they do not tell you is the real reason for the explosion of diabetes, because this explosion happened exactly because of a very specific change in our diet. It's a change that was made in the 1970s on the advice of the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, in the US. This is a governmental agency that advises people on how to eat. And look at what happened after their new recommendation in the 70s. We see that after their recommendation, circled in red, diabetes exploded. So what was this change? It's the implementation of the SAD, the Standard American Diet. You may have already heard of it. It's the food pyramid. And the great novelty was to advise to eat starchy foods at every meal. Because in 1978, a physiologist named Ansel Keys from the University of Minnesota made a discovery. According to his study, he thought that the more we eat fat, the higher the risk of heart attack. And the American agency trusted these results to recommend the new diet, the SAD. But there was a problem. Keys' clinical study was completely wrong, and Dr. Fung and Dr. Taylor proved it, as we will see now. But the damage was already done. Hundreds of millions of people changed their diet according to the new food pyramid, and this led to the explosion of diabetes that we know today. Once again, we can see it very well on this graph. After the implementation of the SAD, this new low-fat diet, the number of diabetics started to explode. The second thing they do not tell you is that type 2 diabetes is not a genetic problem. Dr. Fung confirmed this in his book, The Diabetes Code. He says on page 29, the recent increase in the number of diabetics